Hello everybody and welcome back to Chaos Creations. Well, you're looking at the table right now and going, what the hell is this? And I want to explain myself and we can go from there. I have a thing called ADHD and also some autism, which is called Asperger's. And what happens is we get people with this condition tend to get hyper focused, like really blinkers on, you see what you see and nothing else. And I was getting that way with the Legion Imperialis. I wasn't, doing a little bit of this, doing a little bit of that. It was just Imperialis, nothing else, whole hog. And I had to take a step back because I was like this with Adeptus Titanicus, and I was like this with some other games in the past. And it burns me out, and it burns me out bad. I will go whole hog for about a year and a half, and then I don't touch it for, 4 or 5 years. And I don't want that to be the case with Legions Imperialis, so I've had to pull back the reins a little bit and doing something else. Now, that said, once the game comes out, and I suspect it'll be out in about a week, maybe two, I'll buy a box set and I will just snip bits together, paint it up and so forth, and you'll see it in videos here, there and everywhere. But I've decided to, get ready for the old world and Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Now, if anyone knows me, I am a huge Warhammer Fantasy Battle undead player. You ever see those memes where the person says, you want to know about Warhammer, and they got that sort of look on their face? That's me with undead. Undead vampire counts, chemi, the whole shebang, even the vampire coast in Lustria and so forth, talk to you to death on. So, put it this way, I have my original Tomb King's sprues with all my miniatures on there, which I've just done an audit of and exactly what I've got and what I don't have and what I can't find. So I will be putting together some rank and file more than likely next week. So what I'm doing at the moment is I had a bit of a think yesterday, and I thought about it, and I'm in a very unique opportunity. For the first time in my life, I can actually build my army from the base up. I mean, literally customize every single model even in tiny ways that I could do it. Now, so with 3D printing, so here's a prime example. Here is a horseman's base. Now, I don't know if it's going to get in focus. We'll try. But there you go. Now, and I can put an undead horse on there, color in the trees, the leaves and so forth, the rot. Another one here. This one's got like a mushroom on it, and it's absolutely beautiful. And they're not all got mushrooms. I think some of them have got like just bits of claws and turn around the right way there, mate. Looks like bone and so forth and such. So I can do that for all my horsemen, all my infantry, for everything. Another prime example is these things. Now, all right, so I'm getting ahead of myself. 40 by 40 bases, or all bases in general, there are two types. It's what's called a topper, which is like that. So what it does is it literally just glues onto the top and away you go. Toppers are really good, base toppers, because they're very quick to print, because they're not printing out all of this stuff underneath. And then you just glue them down. You can get a little bit wonky at times, like this one here, so it's not correctly gone on the base all the way, and that's just from me, so it's got a bit of a lip on one side. That's the only problem, but they are nice and quick, and if you do them right, like there, they came out perfectly fine. The other way of doing it is to print the entire thing, which is that one there. So that one is printed all the way. It takes about an hour longer, but it's done, it's dusted, and away you go. And then you have like these ones here, and these ones which are like steps and so forth, which are detailed terrain. So at the moment, I'm just going through what I like, what I don't like, what is quick, what is good. And I'm also starting to do some painting and so forth in different ways of doing it. Do I want to do black and then do the ghosting on the top, or just do I want to go straight for the all white and go from there? And I've come to the conclusion what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing certain units in certain bases. So a prime example is this one's here. Now, these are beautiful. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but they've got skulls on them. Beautiful I said 25 by 25. And I've got about 50 of them. So what I'm going to do is all of those will be used just for my command undead rank and file. So Graveguard, command undead and so forth. Preferably all the metal miniatures that'll have to clip the bases off it, they will go on those because they're nice and solid and not heavy, but the metal isn't going to wane on them. They're hard and chunky. And also with skulls on them and so forth, I can go, well, that's one of my command guys that goes here, there, and everywhere. And then we have what's called just like the rank and file, so the skeletons and the swordsmen. And I'm just going to be using something like this. So this is just a cracked earth with a couple of skeleton skulls on it and so forth, sinking into the sand. And, it's quite nice if it gets some focus for what it is. And for, rank and file, that's still pretty darn impressive. And like I said, I've got cavalry over there. Now, 40 by 40 bases, from memory, is where your bigger units go onto. So I picked up these off eBay many years ago. Now, I suspect they're cheap knockoffs, not the fine resin cast, but I paid fine resin cast prices, and I got 4 of them. But they do serve one other purpose. What I can do is I can now get like a piece of terrain like this, which is quite nice, and I can prop it on there and go, all right, well, that's, that's going to block that piece of terrain at the back. It looks nice and everything, but it's a bit too big. Maybe I'll put something else on there, or, then I've got this, stairs coming down and such, up the top there or down there. And while it looks nice, it's not going to look great because realistically, the miniature is covering most of it. Something like that would be like the tomb spider crawling down the stairs. That would be a lot better. So, it gives me a little bit of a helping hand in trying to figure out what goes on what. Now, that said, we still don't know what sizes everything else can be. All we know is that rank and file that are normally on 20 by 20 are going to be on 25 by 25. Apart from that, we know very little. So, what I'm going to be doing over the next week or so is just putting them to the rank and file, the metal, and so forth. And I still need to do an order on everything that I'm missing because I know I've got a box of metal stuff everywhere. I know I've got a casket of souls that I picked up dirt cheap. That's here somewhere. I've got a whole lot of mummies somewhere. I don't know if you can use mummies in the new rules. Who knows? But at least I know where they are. A couple of vampires, a couple of necromancers, and some other bits and pieces. They're all in boxes someplace. And since I moved, they're here somewhere. I just don't know where. Also, a couple of screaming skull catapults by War Sphinx, and, just general bits and pieces. Ah, yes, that's tomb scorpions and the buzzards, the vultures. So I've got to find them. So what I'm doing is, just bear with me for a second. I got out of storage this, which is the old book. Now, it's going to be completely useless for rules-wise with the new book, but I can go through here and I can get a good feel for the characters again, That's right, they're not buzzards, they're carrion, that's what they were called. Tomb swarms as well, and I'm going to try to make some tomb swarms with 3D prints. Undead giants, I've got a couple of those somewhere as well. Arcan the Black, just get some good old painting tips. I must admit, I never did like the white skeletons. That was always a bit odd. I mean, fine, they're in the sun, they're bleached white, I get that, but still, it's just a little bit too clean, I guess. I would like them to have a nice little wash of brown or something over them. Give them a bit more of a rot feel. But anyway, I do have some plastic chariots, so I'll be putting them together as well. But once again, I'm not too sure what bases. I think the chariots will be on the same base. It just fits in nice and snugly as it is. It would make sense it's going to be on the same base. But anyway, so what I'm going to do over the next month, maybe even till the end of the year, is just do some Tomb Kings painting. Just relax, not get hyperfixated on Legions Imperialis. I'll have it, and I will paint it, and I will glue it together. And then from there, I have the very hard task of finding someone to play against because once again, today I went out and about and talked to people and people were like, nah, we've given up. We're not going to play it. I have yet to find one single person in my city that is going to buy the box and play it. I've not found one yet, which is kind of disturbing, really. Oh, and in the background you can see a couple of pyramids. Yes, it has a gem on top, and there's like a smaller pyramid. Now, these aren't to perfect scale. I mean, here we have a Chaos Warrior. He's 5 centimeters tall. You know, he only just fits in that little gap there. But, I mean, realistically speaking, if I was to do a correct one-to-one scale of a pyramid, it would take up like 80% of the table, you know, and it would be unplayable. So these are just little ones that we can just pop on the table, or I can put on the table, and, you know, they can be painted up. Might do one in a black and a gold or something, you know, a bit out of like the Mummy Returns with the gold pyramid with the gem on top. And we'll go from there and we'll see how we do. But for the most part, it's just going to be me gluing some bits and pieces to bases and printing out bases and just getting ideas for colors. I mean, I don't want to go over the top with the bases. Simple, like, I don't know, a sandstone, maybe a bit of yellow in there or something. And that's it. We're done, we're dusted. Pop the model on, painting, away we go. And I am an old-fashioned person. I believe in gluing them to the base and then painting, which is, you know, interesting. That said, with these ones here, well, actually, no, I'll get one of these where you can see it better. I am tempted to get a little toothpick and just dab some sand in some of these gaps, and then just get a little bit of beach sand and just sort of sprinkle it in there so it actually has a little bit of sand and grit in them. I don't know. It just depends on how far you want to go. Anyway, and it was a good sign today. I came across one of my scorpions. So, you know, it's obviously a sign that Tomb Kings, you know, must be done at this appropriate time. Anyway, everyone have a great day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Any questions, just ask, and I will hopefully be able to answer you. Like and subscribe if you feel the need. You'll see a lot of Tomb Kings coming up to the release, as well as Legion Imperialis. But like I said, I want to not burn out on Legions Imperialis just yet. I got to the point where I just had nothing but tanks in front of me, and I was like, oh, here we go. That's the obsession kicking in. And I don't want it to get over the top and then burn out. Not good for you, not good for me. And knowing my luck, I'll start to get burnt out September next year, and then all of a sudden I'll start finding people that want to play. Just my luck. All right, this is Chaos signing off. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.